I woke up in the rental car for the fourth night in a row, my neck screaming in pain, my back twisted at an angle no 67-year-old woman should have to endure. The parking lot lights of the Grand Vista Resort cast shadows across my face as I tried to shift position in the driver's seat, searching desperately for any configuration that wouldn't leave me crippled in the morning. Through the hotel window 3 floors up, I could see the warm glow of the room I'd paid $450 a night for. The room my son Marcus, his wife Stephanie and my 2 grandchildren were sleeping in comfortably while I spent another night cramped in a Toyota Camry. This was supposed to be a dream family vacation. A week in Colorado, mountains and memories, quality time with my grandchildren I rarely got to see. Instead, I was treated like luggage. No, worse than luggage. Luggage at least got brought into the room. Grandma likes sleeping in the car, I'd heard Stephanie tell the kids that afternoon, loud enough for other guests to hear. She's being difficult about sharing the room. Some old people are just set in their ways. The humiliation burned worse than the pain in my joints. But what Stephanie and Marcus didn't know, what they couldn't have known because I'd hidden it carefully my entire life, was that the poor old woman on a fixed income they were exploiting had $850,000 in investment accounts, and the credit card they'd been using like a blank check for the past 4 days, I could cancel it with a single phone call. I was about to teach them a lesson about who exactly they'd decided to scam, but let me take you back 2 weeks, to the beginning of this disaster, so you can understand exactly how we got here and exactly how satisfying what I did next really was. Before we continue, I just want to say thank you for taking the time to hear my story. If you're comfortable, let me know where you're listening from and what time it is where you are. Now let me tell you my story. My name is Dorothy Jean Mitchell, and I'm 67 years old. I was born in Chicago, raised by parents who believed in hard work, education, and keeping your business to yourself. I worked for the United States Postal Service for 40 years, starting as a mail carrier and eventually becoming a supervisor. I met my husband Raymond when I was 24. He was a union electrician, strong and steady with a laugh that could fill a room. We had 1 child together, Marcus, and we raised him in a small house on the south side. Raymond died 15 years ago from a heart attack. Sudden, devastating, wrong. He was only 58, but Raymond had been smart about insurance. His union benefits included a $300,000 life insurance policy. Combined with his pension survivor benefits, and my own postal pension, I was set financially. I took that $300,000 and invested it carefully, conservatively, let it grow over 15 years into $850,000, but I never told anyone, not my friends at church, not my neighbors, not even Marcus. I'd seen too many families torn apart by money, too many children who suddenly became very attentive when they found out their parents had wealth. So I lived modestly, stayed in the same small house Raymond and I had paid off, drove my 2008 Honda Civic until it died, and then bought a used 2012 model, shopped at discount stores, clipped coupons more out of habit than necessity. Everyone assumed I was barely scraping by on my postal pension and Social Security. And I let them assume it. It was safer that way. Marcus was 40 now, married to Stephanie for 6 years. They had 2 kids, Jasmine, 10 and Devin 8. Marcus worked in IT support at a hospital, made decent money. Stephanie was a pharmaceutical sales rep, supposedly made good money too. They lived in a nice suburb, had a big house, drove new cars, posted constantly on social media about their lifestyle. I saw them maybe 6 times a year. Holidays mostly. They were always busy, always had somewhere to be, always rushing off. The kids barely knew me. I was just grandma, someone who sent birthday cards with $20 and showed up at Christmas. Then 2 weeks ago, Marcus called me. It was a Tuesday evening, around 7 p.m. "Mom, how are you?" His cheerfulness was immediately suspicious. Marcus only used that tone when he wanted something. "I'm fine, baby. What's going on?" "So Stephanie and I have been talking. We feel really bad that we haven't spent more time with you. The kids barely know their grandmother and that's not right. Family is important." "Okay," I waited for the pitch. "We want to take you on vacation. A real family trip. Colorado mountains, beautiful scenery, family bonding time. The kids are so excited about it. We've been talking it up and they really want you to come." "Marcus, I appreciate that, but I don't know if I can afford a big vacation right now. Colorado is expensive and—" "Mom, stop. We're paying for everything. We got a big bonus at work, both of us. We want to treat you, we want to give you this experience. Make some real memories with the grandkids. Please. It would mean so much to all of us. I hesitated. It sounded wonderful, but something felt off. Marcus had never been the type to plan elaborate family vacations or talk about making memories. That sounded like Stephanie coaching him. When were you thinking? Next week. We found amazing deals. Please say yes, Mom. The kids will be so disappointed if you don't come. The mention of disappointing my grandchildren got me. I so rarely got to spend real time with them. Maybe this would be good. Maybe I was being too cynical. Okay, I said. Yes, I'd love to. Awesome. I'll send you the flight details. Pack for a week. Bring warm clothes. We're going up into the mountains. This is going to be amazing, Mom. You'll see. The flight was scheduled for the following Monday, early morning out of O'Hare. I packed carefully, warm clothes, comfortable shoes, my medications, a book to read on the plane. I was actually excited. A week with my grandchildren, watching them experience the mountains, being part of their lives in a real way. I should have known better. Monday morning I met them at the airport. The kids were excited, bouncing around talking about skiing and hot chocolate. Stephanie was on her phone, barely acknowledged me. Marcus gave me a quick hug. Ready for an adventure, Mom? Ready as I'll ever be. We got to the check-in counter. Marcus went first, pulling out his ID and handing it to the agent. Then he patted his pockets, checked his jacket, checked his pants. Oh no. Oh no, no, no. What's wrong? Stephanie asked. I left my wallet at home, on the kitchen counter. I remember taking it out to find my ID, and I must have... Oh God, I'm so sorry. I can't believe I did this. He turned to me, his face the picture of embarrassment and panic. Mom, I'm so sorry to ask this, but can you get my ticket on your card? I'll Venmo you the money the second we land. I promise. I pulled out my credit card, the one with the $50,000 limit that I kept for emergencies and large purchases. How much is it? $700 per person. I winced. That was $2,800 just for plane tickets. But he promised to pay me back immediately, and he was my son. I handed over my card. Then we got to Stephanie's turn. Her card got declined. That's impossible, she said loudly, face flushing red. There's money in that account. Run it again. The agent ran it again. Declined. Ma'am, do you have another form of payment? Stephanie looked at me. Dorothy, my card isn't working. Something must be wrong with the system. Can you get mine too? Marcus will Venmo you both our shares when we land. We're good for it. I hesitated. This felt wrong. But they were all looking at me. Marcus, Stephanie, the kids, the people in line behind us. Please. Grandma, little Jasmine said. I want to go to Colorado. I handed over my card again. 4 tickets, baggage fees, seat selections, $2,800 on my credit card. Thank you so much, Mom, Marcus said. I'll pay you back at the hotel, I promise. We boarded the plane. I sat in the middle seat in coach. They'd put the kids by the window and aisle. Marcus and Stephanie were 3 rows ahead in seats with more legroom that cost extra, also on my card. When we landed in Denver, I waited for the Venmo payment Marcus had promised. It didn't come. All right, I need to transfer money from savings first, he said when I brought it up. I'll do it at the hotel. We got to the rental car counter. Marcus's card was declined. Stephanie's card was declined. Mom, can you just get the rental? We'll settle up everything at once at the hotel. I promise. The rental car for a week, $890, on my card. We drove 2 hours into the mountains to the resort town where they'd booked our hotel. If you could call it a town. It was one of those luxury ski destinations where everything cost 3 times normal prices. The Grand Vista Resort was beautiful. I had to admit, massive stone and timber building, mountain views, heated outdoor pool, high-end restaurant, the kind of place I'd never stayed in my life. Marcus went to check in. I stayed with the kids and luggage. 5 minutes later he came back looking sheepish. So, there's a tiny problem. They need a card on file for incidentals. My card isn't working, I think because I reported my wallet potentially lost, and Stephanie's still having issues. Mom, can you put my card on file? How much? They'll just authorize $500 or so. You won't actually be charged unless we damage something or order room service. And we won't. So it's just a hold. I handed over my card again. The agent processed it, looked at her screen. Ma'am, the room rate hasn't been prepaid. Did you want to put that on this card as well? Marcus's face went red. I thought you prepaid it, he said to Stephanie. I thought you did. Ma'am? The agent waited. How much is the room? I asked, dread pooling in my stomach. $450 per night. You've booked for 6 nights. That's $2,700, plus tax comes to $3,087. I wanted to cry. I wanted to scream. I wanted to take my card back and walk away. But the kids were there, already excited about the pool, already talking about which bed they wanted. I'll pay it, I said quietly. But Marcus, you're paying me back? This is thousands of dollars. Absolutely, Mom. First thing tomorrow I'm going to the bank and getting this all sorted out. I promise. That first night should have been wonderful. The room was beautiful, 2 queen beds, mountain views, luxurious bathroom, but when it came time for bed, reality hit. Okay kids, you take this bed, Stephanie directed. Marcus and I will take this bed. Dorothy, actually, is there a cot or something? I'll call the front desk, Marcus said. He called. There were no cots available, but Mom, you can sleep on the floor. We'll get you extra blankets. The floor? Marcus, I'm 67 years old. I have arthritis. It's just for tonight. Tomorrow we'll figure something else out. I slept on the floor between the 2 beds, with 2 thin blankets and a spare pillow. My hips screamed in pain all night. I didn't sleep more than an hour. The next morning I was exhausted and in pain. They were all bright and refreshed, ready for breakfast. The hotel has an amazing breakfast buffet, Stephanie announced. It's $35 per person, but it's totally worth it. Let's go. I pulled Marcus aside. Can we talk about the money? You said you'd pay me back today. Right? Yeah, I need to call my bank. Their fraud department locked my account. It's a whole thing. I'll get it sorted this afternoon. I promise. We went to the breakfast buffet, $35 per person, 5 people, $75 for breakfast. On my card. The buffet was nice, omelets made to order, fresh fruit, pastries, the works, but I couldn't enjoy it. I was doing math in my head. I'd already spent over $7,000 and we'd only been here 12 hours. After breakfast, Stephanie had the day planned. We're going skiing. Well, the kids and I are. Marcus doesn't ski. Dorothy, you don't ski either, right? No, I don't. That's fine. You 2 can hang out in town, walk around, maybe get lunch. We'll meet back here at 4. Ski passes for Stephanie and both kids $400. Ski equipment rental $180. Ski clothes rental because the kids grew out of their stuff, $120. All on my card. Marcus and I walked around the town. Every store was expensive. $45 for a sweatshirt, $12 for a coffee. We got lunch at a cafe, $67, on my card. That evening Stephanie wanted to go to a nice restaurant. It's vacation, we have to splurge a little. Dinner for 5 at an upscale steakhouse, $340 with tip, on my card. After dinner, back in the room I tried again. Marcus, we need to talk about money. I've spent over $8,000, when are you paying me back? Mom, I know, I'm working on it. My bank is being difficult. Can you just trust me? We'll settle everything at the end of the trip. End of the trip? Marcus, I can't afford. Can't afford? Mom, you have your postal pension. You're fine. Don't ruin this trip by being cheap. The kids are having the time of their lives. That hurt. Being called cheap for objecting to spending thousands of dollars I hadn't budgeted for. That second night, bedtime came again. Okay, so we need to figure out the sleeping situation, Stephanie said. I literally cannot sleep with someone else in the room. I'm a very light sleeper. Dorothy, your breathing last night kept waking me up. My breathing? It's not your fault, but I need good sleep. Marcus, what if your mom slept in the lobby? Some hotels have nice couches. The lobby? I stared at them. You want me to sleep in the hotel lobby? Just for tonight, until we figure something out. I was too tired to argue. I took my pillow and blanket and went to the lobby. I tried to sleep on a decorative bench. At midnight, hotel security woke me up. Ma'am, you can't sleep here. Do you have a room? Yes, but... Then you need to use it. This is a common area. I went back to the room, knocked quietly. No answer, knocked louder. Finally Marcus opened the door, groggy and annoyed. Mom, what are you doing? Security said I can't sleep in the lobby. Well, We're all asleep. Can you just, I don't know, figure it out? He closed the door. Didn't invite me in. Closed the door on his own mother. I stood in the hallway for 5 minutes, humiliated. Then I remembered we had a rental car. I could sleep in the car. I went to the parking lot, got in the driver's seat of the Toyota Camry, reclined it as far as it would go and tried to sleep. It was awful. The seat wasn't flat. My back was twisted. My neck was at a terrible angle. The parking lot lights were too bright. It was cold Colorado in October. Overnight temperatures in the 30s. I maybe slept 2 hours total. The third morning I was in serious pain. My back was spasming. My neck wouldn't turn right. I could barely walk straight. They were all at breakfast when I finally made it inside. Jasmine waved. Hi Grandma, where were you? She slept in the car, Stephanie said casually, buttering a croissant. She prefers it, more privacy. I didn't prefer it. I had nowhere else to. Mom, can we not do this right now? Marcus interrupted. It's vacation. Let's keep things positive. That day Stephanie wanted to go to the spa. They have an amazing package, massage, facial, hot stone therapy. I deserve it after dealing with the kids on the slopes. Her spa package, $580. On my card. While she was at the spa, Marcus took the kids to an arcade. $150. On my card. I stayed at the hotel soaking in the hot tub trying to unknot my muscles from sleeping in the car. That evening they wanted to go shopping. The kids needed souvenirs. Jasmine got a stuffed elk $45. A sweatshirt $52 and a snow globe $28. Devin got a model train $67. A Colorado flag $35 and a pocket knife that Marcus said was educational. Stephanie bought herself jewelry from a local artisan $28. Everything on my card. Dinner was another expensive restaurant. $200 with tip. On my card. And that night, without even discussing it, they just assumed I'd sleep in the car again. Stephanie didn't even pretend to offer alternatives. Good night, Dorothy. Sleep well, she called as I headed to the parking lot with my pillow. Night 3 in the car. My body was breaking down. Everything hurt. I was exhausted but couldn't sleep. I was on vacation but more miserable than I'd ever been. The fourth day was more of the same. Expensive breakfast buffet. Expensive lunch. An afternoon trip to a mountain gondola. $65 per person, $325 total. Dinner at another upscale place, $312. All on my card. Every time I tried to bring up money, Marcus deflected. After the trip, Mom, I promise, let's just enjoy this time together. But we weren't together. They were on vacation. I was their ATM who slept in the parking lot. That fourth night, something changed. I woke up in the car around 2 a.m. as usual. I couldn't sleep, my bladder was screaming, my back was in agony. I got out of the car and limped into the hotel to use the bathroom. On my way back through the lobby I passed by our room on the 3rd floor. The door was slightly ajar, probably didn't close all the way when someone went to get ice or something. I heard voices. Stephanie and Marcus talking. I should have kept walking. But something made me stop and listen. This is working out perfectly, Stephanie was saying. Your mom is so gullible. We've had a completely free vacation and she can't even complain without looking like a bad grandmother. I feel a little bad about the car thing, Marcus said. My heart clenched. He did feel bad. Maybe there was hope. Please, Stephanie scoffed. She's fine. Old people don't need as much sleep anyway. Their bodies are different. And this way we save money on a second room. Which we need because I absolutely cannot share a room with her. Can you imagine? I guess. And we're never paying her back anyway. What's she going to do? Sue her own son? She won't. She'll complain for a few months, and then let it go because she wants to see the grandkids. It's the perfect setup. They laughed. Both of them, laughing about scamming me. I stood in that hallway shaking, not from cold, from rage. Did you see her face when we made her pay for my spa day? Stephanie continued. She looked like she was going to cry, but she still pulled out that card. Because she's desperate to be part of this family. It's kind of pathetic. Stephanie. What? It's true. Your mom is a lonely old woman with nothing else in her life. We're doing her a favor letting her come on this trip, letting her spend time with the kids. She should be thanking us. Instead she keeps whining about money like she's broke. Please. She has her pension. She's fine. I still think we should pay her back something. With what money? We're maxed out on everything, the mortgage is due. We needed this vacation and we couldn't afford it. Your mom was the solution, and it worked. So stop feeling guilty and enjoy it. I heard movement. I quickly walked away, back down to the parking lot, back to the car. I sat in the driver's seat, hands gripping the steering wheel, and I finally admitted it to myself. My son and his wife were thieves. They weren't just inconsiderate or financially irresponsible. They had planned this. They had lured me on this trip specifically to scam me out of thousands of dollars they never intended to pay back. And the sleeping in the car? That wasn't circumstance. That was deliberate humiliation. They were punishing me for being their meal ticket and not being grateful enough about it. I looked up at the third floor, at the window of the room I'd paid $450 per night for, where my family was sleeping comfortably in the beds I'd paid for, after eating the meals I'd paid for, wearing the clothes I'd paid for. And I made a decision. I pulled out my phone. I called my credit card company's 24-hour customer service line. Thank you for calling. This is Robert. How can I help you? I need to report my card as lost and cancel it immediately. I can help you with that. Can I verify your account information? I went through the verification process. Then, yes, I'd like to cancel this card effective immediately and issue a new card. Absolutely. I'll cancel this card number right now. Your new card will arrive in 5-7 business days. Would you like us to send it to the address on file? Yes, my home address, not anywhere else. Done. That card number is now deactivated. Is there anything else I can help you with today? No, thank you. I hung up. I sat there in the car, my heart pounding. The card they'd been using was dead. Every charge they tried to make from this point forward would be declined. We were supposed to have 3 more days of vacation. 3 more days of expensive meals and activities and shopping. 3 more days where I'd paid for everything and been treated like garbage. Not anymore. I pulled out my phone again. This time I called the rental car company. I had a different credit card, one linked to my investment account that I never used, and they didn't know existed. I'd like to rent a car for 1 day, picking up from your Denver airport location this morning. Of course. What time? As early as possible. I booked a car for 7 a.m. pickup. Then I booked a flight home. One way, leaving Denver at 2 p.m. that afternoon. Then I went back into the hotel, went to the front desk. The same clerk who'd checked us in was working the night shift. Hi, I need to check out of room 37. She looked at her computer. You're checked in through Sunday. That's 3 more nights. There will be a cancellation fee if you check out early. That's fine. The room is in my name. Correct? Yes, Dorothy Mitchell. Then I'm checking out this morning. I'll pay the final bill and the cancellation fee. But I need you to deactivate all the room keys. She looked confused. All of them? Even for the guests still in the room? Especially those, the room is in my name. I'm the one who paid for it. I'm checking out. If the other guests want to stay, they'll need to book their own room on their own credit card. Understanding dawned on her face. She'd probably seen family drama like this before. I'll process the checkout. You'll be getting a full bill sent to the card on file. That's fine. She processed everything. The bill was $4,627 for the room, meals, incidentals and early checkout fee. I paid it without flinching. The room keys will be deactivated 11 a.m. checkout time. That's hotel policy. We give guests until checkout time even on early departure. Perfect. I went back to the parking lot. Sat in the rental car. It was 4 a.m. I had 3 hours until the rental car place opened. 7 hours until my flight. I used the time to pack my small suitcase from the trunk. I had kept a change of clothes in the car since they'd exiled me from the room. At 6:45 a.m., I drove to the airport, returned the rental car to Marcus and Stephanie, picked up my new rental car, drove back to the hotel and parked in the guest lot instead of the hotel lot. At 10 a.m. I turned my phone back on, just to see. Already there were texts from Marcus. Mom, where are you? But your car is gone. Then, Mom, seriously, where are you? We need to get breakfast and the car is gone. Then, Mom, answer your phone. From Stephanie. Dorothy, where did you go? You can't just take the rental car without telling us. I didn't respond. At 11:15 a.m., a flood of texts came through. Marcus. Mom, what did you do? Our room keys don't work. The hotel says you checked out. They're kicking us out of the room. Where are you? Stephanie. Dorothy, you selfish bitch. You left us stranded. The kids are crying. How could you abandon your own grandchildren? What kind of person does this? Marcus, Mom, please. The hotel won't let us stay without a new card on file. Our cards aren't working. Please come back. We're sorry about the sleeping thing. Okay? You can have one of the beds. Just come back. Mom, please. I turned the phone off, drove to the airport, checked my bag, went through security, sat at my gate. I turned the phone back on one more time. More text. Stephanie, I can't believe you're doing this. We have 3 more days of vacation planned. Everything was prepaid on your card. I smiled at that one. Nothing was prepaid. And that card was dead. Marcus, Mom, the hotel is saying we can't check back in. We have nowhere to stay. Our cards are all maxed out. Stephanie's parents are wiring us money, but it won't be here until tomorrow. We had to get a room at a motel on the highway. The kids are devastated. Good, I thought. Be devastated. Learn a lesson. I boarded my plane, turned off my phone, flew home. When I landed in Chicago, I turned my phone back on. 53 missed calls. 78 text messages. I read through them. Here's the summary of what happened after I left. They were kicked out of the Grand Vista Resort at noon when they couldn't produce a valid credit card. They tried to use my canceled card. Declined. They tried all of their cards. All declined or maxed out. They had to pack up all their stuff and leave. The kids were crying. Other guests were staring. They had reservations that night at an expensive restaurant. $400 prepaid on my now canceled card. They showed up. The card on file didn't work. They were turned away. They tried to check into another hotel. No card worked. They had to call Stephanie's parents and beg for help. Stephanie's parents agreed to wire $2,000, but it would take 6 to 8 hours to process, so they had to wait at a Starbucks with all their luggage and 2 tired, hungry, confused children. Finally, the money came through. They got a room at a Motel 6 by the highway for $89 a night. No pool, no mountain view, no breakfast buffet. The kids were miserable. They had dinner at Denny's, $47 for all of them. They cut the vacation short, changed their flights, expensive change fees on the remaining credit from Stephanie's parents, and flew home 2 days early. I read all of this in the texts, and I felt absolutely no guilt. Only satisfaction. I got home to my small paid-off house, my safe space, my sanctuary. I blocked their numbers. I needed peace. For a week I heard nothing. I assumed they'd given up, moved on, were dealing with their own mess. Then a week after we got back, there was banging on my door. Aggressive, angry banging. I looked through the peephole. Marcus and Stephanie. I opened the door. What do you want? Stephanie pushed past me into my house. What do I want? What do I want? I want to know what the hell you were thinking, leaving us stranded in Colorado. I was thinking I was tired of sleeping in a car while you slept in the room I paid for. We were going to give you a bed. We said that. You said that after I left. After I overheard you laughing about scamming me. After you said you'd never pay me back. Her face went pale. You heard that? Every word. You called me gullible. Pathetic. Said I should be grateful you let me come on the trip. Said old people don't need sleep. Oh, and my favorite part where you said you'd never pay me back because what am I going to do, sue my own son? Marcus looked sick. Mom, we were just venting. We didn't mean. You meant every word, and you know what? You were right about one thing. Old people don't put up with disrespect. So here's what's happening. You owe me $12,347. That's every penny I spent on that trip. We don't have that kind of money right now, Stephanie said. Then we'll put it in writing. A promissory note. Legally binding. You have 30 days to pay in full, or I take you to small claims court. Mom, you can't be serious, Marcus said. Deadly serious. We're family. You don't sue family. You're right. Family doesn't make family sleep in cars. Family doesn't scam family out of thousands of dollars. Family doesn't laugh about exploiting their elderly mother. So maybe we're not family anymore. Stephanie's face turned red with rage. You ungrateful, we gave you a vacation. We included you. The kids loved having you there. The kids didn't even know I was sleeping in the car. You told them I preferred it. You humiliated me, you used me, and you planned it from the beginning. That conversation I overheard wasn't a moment of weakness. That was you revealing who you really are. If you sue us, we'll never let you see the kids again. Stephanie threatened. Something in me snapped. Then I guess I'm never seeing the kids again, because I'm not letting this go. You will pay me back, or you will face legal consequences. Your choice. Mom, Marcus started. Get out of my house. Mom, please, get out of my house. They left. Stephanie was screaming threats as they walked to their car. Marcus looked broken. I closed the door, locked it, leaned against it. And I didn't cry. I didn't feel sad. I felt free. Over the next month, they didn't pay me back. They didn't even acknowledge the debt. Instead, they went on a campaign to turn the family against me. They told Marcus's cousins that I'd abandoned them on vacation and left the children stranded. They told my church friends that I was having mental health issues and becoming paranoid and cruel. They posted vague Facebook updates about toxic family members and setting boundaries with negative people. Some people believed them. Some people called me to ask what happened. I told them the truth. Some believed me. Some didn't. I didn't care. I'd spent too many years caring what people thought. I contacted a lawyer about small claims court. He said I had an excellent case. Receipts, text messages, documented evidence of fraud, but the maximum I could get in small claims court in Illinois was $10,000, and it would take months. Or he said, you could write it off as a loss and cut them out of your life completely. Sometimes that's worth more than the money. I thought about it for a long time. Then I did something different. I used that $12,300 I'd lost on the vacation to do something for myself. Something I'd never done. I booked a luxury cruise. 2 weeks in the Caribbean, first-class cabin with a balcony, all-inclusive spa treatments, fine dining, excursions to beautiful beaches. I invited my best friend Marlene, another retired postal worker, sharp as a tack, funny as hell. Dorothy, are you sure? She asked when I told her. This is expensive. I'm sure. I spent $12,000 on a vacation where I slept in a car. Now I'm spending it on a vacation where I sleep in a suite. On a cruise ship, with my best friend, and no one can lock me out. We went on that cruise. It was magnificent. I swam in turquoise water. I ate 7-course meals. I got massages. I watched sunsets from my private balcony with a glass of champagne. I posted photos on Facebook. Me smiling on the beach. Me and Marlene at the captain's dinner. Me parasailing. I didn't tag Marcus or Stephanie, but I knew they saw them. I knew they were watching. Let them watch me living my best life without them. When I got back from the cruise, there was a letter in my mailbox, from Marcus. I almost threw it away. But something made me open it. Dear Mom, I don't expect you to forgive me. I don't expect you to trust me again. I don't even expect you to respond to this letter. But I need to tell you something. I need to admit something. You were right. About everything. Stephanie and I planned that vacation specifically to use you. We were drowning in debt. Credit cards, mortgage, car payments, everything. We couldn't afford a vacation, but we needed one. We needed to get away, to pretend our lives weren't falling apart. And I remembered that you always said you were on a fixed income and couldn't afford much. I thought that meant you had some money but were just frugal. So I thought if we manipulated you into coming, and manipulated you into paying, we could have the vacation we wanted without actually paying for it. The sleeping in the car thing wasn't supposed to happen. At least not originally. But when Stephanie said she couldn't sleep with you in the room, I didn't fight her on it. I told myself it was just for one night. Then another night. Then it became easier to just let it happen than to deal with her anger. I became a coward. I became someone I hate. When you left us there, when you canceled the card and checked out, I was angry. I felt betrayed. But sitting in that Motel 6, watching my kids cry because their vacation was ruined, I realized something. They weren't crying because of you. They were crying because of me. Because I'd raised their expectations for a lifestyle I couldn't afford. Because I'd taught them that grandma existed to be used. What kind of father does that? What kind of son? Stephanie and I are getting divorced. She blames you for destroying our family. I told her we destroyed it ourselves the moment we decided to scam my own mother. I know I owe you $12,347. I don't have it right now, but I'm working 2 jobs, and I'm paying you back, even if it takes me years. Even if you never speak to me again. You deserved better. You deserved a son who protected you, who honored you, who treated you like the strong, intelligent woman you are. I'm sorry, Mom. I'm so sorry. Marcus. I read the letter 3 times. I sat at my kitchen table with tears running down my face. Not tears of forgiveness. Tears of grief. Grief for the relationship we'd had, the trust that was broken, the son I thought I'd raised versus the man he'd become. I didn't respond to the letter. Not yet. Maybe not ever. Instead, I did something else. I updated my will. I left everything, my house, my investments, everything to charity. To organizations that help elderly people fight financial exploitation and abuse. To programs that provide legal services for seniors. Marcus got nothing. Not because I hate him, because actions have consequences. He made his choice when he watched his wife throw me out in the rain and said nothing. He made his choice when he laughed about never paying me back. He made his choice when he valued his wife's comfort over his mother's dignity. And I made mine. 6 months later, I'm 68 years old. I'm healthier and happier than I've been in years. I sold my house, too many memories. Too much space for one person. I bought a small condo in a senior community where I have friends, activities, security. I travel regularly. Marlene and I are planning a trip to Paris next spring. First class all the way. I volunteer at a legal aid clinic, helping elderly people understand their rights when family members try to exploit them. I tell them my story. I show them they're not alone. The grandkids sent me a card through Marcus's sister, handmade, with crayon drawings. We miss you, Grandma. I sent them each a $5,000 savings bond for their education, made payable only to them, not accessible by their parents until they're 18. Because I love them. But I don't trust their parents. Marcus sends me a check every month. $200. It's what he can afford. At this rate, it'll take him 5 years to pay me back. I deposit every check. I'm keeping track. Not because I need the money, but because he needs to pay it. He needs to understand the weight of what he did. Whether I ever forgive him, I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. This morning, I got a text from Marcus. Mom, we're desperate. Can we talk, please? I read it, sat with it, and then I deleted it. I'm going to Paris in the spring. I'm having dinner with friends tonight. I'm living a life full of joy and purpose, in people who treat me with respect. Some family is worth fighting for. Some isn't. And I've learned the difference. Thank you for watching.